Time now for the voice of the land on the Big Play Network with your hosts, Kevin Arnold and Always Positive Jay.
We have a team in town that are fighters, but have not come out on top as of late at home, going 2-4 on this 6-game homestand. That is your Cleveland Guardians. We hope to have Andy Billman, the director of Believe Land, the 30 for 30, but also recently War on the Diamond, which I checked out and is absolutely fantastic.
Oh, it's amazing.
I feel like there is a generation and a half of people that have just totally neglected or forgotten about, haven't been taught about the rivalry that is between Cleveland baseball and New York Yankees baseball. This documentary goes into all that, and I want to ask Andy, what has happened? Why is Progressive Field so influxed with Yankees fans every single time? Where is that sports hatred when they come to town, or when we face the Yankees? Thought maybe it would kickstart last year when Miles Straw took issue with people throwing things, saying things at Stephen Kwan, Oscar Gonzalez, those guys out in the outfield actually climbed the fence at new Yankee Stadium, and thought maybe that would kind of reignite, and some of the younger generations would be like, well, why is everybody talking about this moment meaning so much, and get the conversation going? It doesn't seem like that has happened. I think what's going to take that is more matchups in the playoffs and us beating the Yankees in the playoffs.
A good old
again.
back and forth in the playoffs will always restart a nice rivalry. Me personally, I still hate them with the passion.
I've always hated. Yes.
On the power rankings of teams I hate, they are number one without a doubt. I can't stand them. They drive me nuts when we lose to them. Even though it's a long season and it is kind of a meaningless game in a way, you could say, I hate it just as bad as when we lose to the Steelers or I don't know, anybody. When we lost I wouldn't say lost the Warriors in championship, but you get my point.
Yes.
It drives me nuts when we lose to them. But on the flip side, when we beat them, it's just 3 times as sweet as when we beat anybody else.
It is. And look, I hate the pinstripes. I hate, all these so-called old school baseball rules or whatever. These guys can't have beards. They can't have.
As a man with a beard, I can't. That's another thing I hate about them. Dude, I hated them so bad when I was a kid. I liked the Red Sox. And then they won some World Series, so I stopped liking them so much.
Yeah.
So I was like, all right, you guys won enough. You can go away for a while.
Yeah, I mean, just the feel-good stories of Terry Francona helping the Red Sox lift their curse and win a World Series, and then they won a few. And the Cubs, I mean, they haven't won a few, but they at least knocked off their drought of over 100 years. We're at 75 years, I'm pretty sure. Cleveland baseball haven't won a World Series since 1948. It's about time. And this is a team
beyond about time.
This is a team with a manager that feel can make some noise. Now, a team that's 7-6 right now after 13 games, I'm not going to freak out about. I'm not even going to criticize that much at all because it's a 162 game season.
Dude,
you got 40, 49, 48 still left to go.
It's even pointless to look at stats or standings until about 130, about 40% of the way through the season.
Yeah, once you get into June, after a couple months have gone by, because in those first couple months, a bad 2-week stretch can be easily corrected by a good 2-week stretch, and then you find yourself middle of your division all the way to the top, and you're up by 3 games. It's going to be a little bit different this year because the Guardians are going to play more teams. They're not going to play 19 games against their division opponents. They're not going to play 19 against the Royals and the White Sox and the Twins. You're only going to play 12 or 13 this year. So you don't get to beat up on what people still think isn't the greatest of divisions. Twins and White Sox are up there. Royals and Tigers, they're kind of in their downswing. Tigers, I think, are trying to come back up. Royals just hit their downswing. Guardians have to strike while the kettle is hot. They do have to go further than what they did last year. You can't bank on doing exactly the same thing and being able to get to the exact same point, like hitting the reset button or having the checkpoint in your video game where it automatically saves, and then when you die, you come back to that point. You don't have to go back to the start of the level. You get to come to the middle part of the level. That doesn't happen in real life. That doesn't happen in sports. So this team has to find a way to recreate what they did last year and build upon it. I'm not going to be upset if they're one game over 500, 13 games in, and start saying that that's not going to happen. Are there issues? Yeah, they're not hitting with runners in scoring position. They're leaving way too many men on base.
Class A ain't pitching all that great right now.
I mean, and how many times?
He's not terrible, but he's not great.
Yeah, he comes in
And unlike people on Twitter are saying he's washed up and he's done for, I'm like, dude, are you serious? Like,
no,
we're not going to overreact on this show.
Yeah, that's not. If you're tuning in for the first time because you didn't know that the show existed, welcome. Please tune in as often as you can. You can come in for a little bit. We go for about an hour. We have a few commercial breaks, and you can tune in for a little bit. You can, kind of step away. We always have the audio and the video is reposted all over the place so you can catch what you missed. You don't have to. I'm not here to bring everybody and stay for every single moment of the show. That's not who we are. We try to be realistic about things. We try to look at things the way that they are and not overreact, but also not underreact. I would be underreacting if I didn't at least draw attention to this team not hitting with guys on base, leaving too many guys on, and pitching being inconsistent, especially out of that bullpen. I wouldn't be doing my job if I didn't state those things. But am I going to make those things out to be like this team absolutely sucks and those guys need to go, we need to trade them, just like people wanted to do with Karinchak when he didn't have a good game? He's had issues with this new pitch clock. People want to do it with Class A now after today. We've seen it so often. I don't know what it is, but closers come into a tie ball game and they don't look the same. They don't look the same on the mound. Now, that's not an excuse, but for some reason, that different mindset, okay, this game is tied. I'm not trying to nail down the win. I'm trying to keep my team in the opportunity to go win it in the next half inning if you're at home. I'm trying to get my team to extra innings because I know that we've been successful in extra innings. I think 4-0 this year. I'm not going to overly freak out. I hate losing to the Yankees. That's all. I hate losing to the Yankees. I don't like it.
I mean, people, everything you said, and to top it off, the Yankees lineup is stacked, dude. I hate saying it. They have a terrific offense. They got dudes up and down the lineup that can hit bombs at any given moment.
Right.
You get guys on base, and as a fan, you're like, oh, crap. You, have the feeling that 2-run shot or 3-run shot's coming. So if Class A, I don't know, it wasn't a blown save, obviously.
It's not a blown save, but blown opportunity to...
It's going to happen. It's baseball.
Yeah.
No one's perfect. Mariano Rivera is not out there anymore. This dude is pretty damn close to him last year, but he's still not him. Those guys don't exist. He's as good as they're going to get in the game.
And
he's going to bounce back. And
your team still had a chance in the bottom of the ninth because they're not going to stop fighting until the game has reached 27 outs. Until they've gotten to all their 27 outs.
That's a Terry Francona team. They're never going to quit.
They're never going to quit.
So So don't quit on them.
Yeah, don't.
This early.
If you were all about opening day and you went downtown for just the festivities around it, for the adult side of it, the adult beverage side of it, to hang out with people, it was a sunny day, but it was cold. I have nothing against that. But don't be that person that, if you're only going to focus on one day or a few days, like opening day when it's the whole stadium sold out, or a playoff game when everybody's there and all sold out and the people that actually have the money get to go. Those aren't the people that are in those seats throughout the year, the entire time. So please, I try not to tell people how to fan. I try my absolute best.
I'll ask you
there
this.
Are just some...
Does that annoy you when people go to the opener, don't go to any other games, don't care, and they're going just for the party atmosphere and don't care about the game, don't care about the team. They're just taking up a seat and taking up a spot.
That part doesn't annoy me because that's what opening day is. Opening day is basically like a holiday.
Playoffs would drive you nuts.
Not even playoffs. Those are kind of those are holiday type moments. But it's when those people that just do that, they know that they can blow a certain amount of money to go and be a part of those big moments. they don't actually pay attention to what's going on, why the season is going the way it is, and then they tune in or look at their ESPN app, look at their pitch tracker, and see one half inning where a closer gives up the one run that gives the Yankees the lead, then they want to run him out of town. They haven't seen what else he has done. How did we get to that point? What could have prevented or allowed the Guardians to stay in the lead 3-0? Opportunities like what was in the ninth. Like, if you don't know the whole story, don't criticize. That's what frustrates me the most. If you don't know the whole story, I find it very difficult that you would be the biggest voice to talk
Reacting
about
to headlines is what you're saying.
Yes,
pretty much.
Reacting to headlines, like
not reading the story, just reading the title of the book,
taking the clickbait. Start to the season, Jay. Do you have any legit concerns to start this season?
No. I mean, I don't like the injuries to the pitchers. If anything, I'd say that. That's
probably out of all the stuff that I mentioned that I said that we needed to mention, leaving guys on base, pitching staff not and in the bullpen not being as strong as we saw last year. We know that Terry Francona-led teams, especially when he's been here in Cleveland, their time of the year is after the All-Star break. They do enough.
The worst time of the year is now.
Is April. As
far as I'm concerned, they're actually doing better than they normally used to do.
I would love to see a better April, like get off to a good start, but then like where does that lead? I'm going to trust in what this organization has done and what they've shown us that they do. If there was one concern, it is the injuries. Tristan McKenzie, I know he started his work back. He's doing throwing a weighted ball. He'll be reevaluated for throwing activities, actual like baseball throwing activities here soon. Savali, who started out well the first 2 games, I know he wasn't happy with giving up that lead that he had, pitching so well against the Mariners. But then an oblique injury, like this guy just unfortunately can't stay healthy. Like you just feel bad for people like that. The injuries just mount up and stack and stack and stack, and all you're spending more of your time rehabbing than you are building upon a successful season and being able to go out there and pitch every 5 days when your number is called. That's the hardest part. But we'll see. Luckily, these injuries are happening early, so hopefully you get them back. You get them back at the right time where they are fully healthy, and we can move forward from there. Knock on wood that those issues aren't.
I mean, the kid today, he pitched pretty damn good.
Well, what's this organization known for, even in the minor league system? It's developing pitchers.
I swear they got a
Finding
3D printer somewhere hidden, and they're like, we need a new right-handed pitcher. It's like, they ship it out there, they put it in water, they watch it grow, and then they're like, we drafted this guy, and we've just been printing him this whole time.
Hey, I've seen crazier things 3D printers can do.
Dude, 3 different Cy Young winners now? Wait, no, 4, 5? How many Cy Young winners do we got going on these days?
I don't know.
Let's go back. We got Bieber.
Yep.
Then we had Kluber.
Yes.
CC Sabathia.
Yes. Didn't
Cliff Lee.
Didn't Cliff Lee win one? Yeah.
So there's 4 I know of. I think that's the 4 I can think of.
Yeah, and you've...
That's 4 different Cy Young winners from one organization. That's insane. Usually you get a guy who makes like a run and he'll get like 4 Cy Youngs, not 4 different Cy Young pitchers. That's crazy. And
they, even if they have to, just money-wise, the way the market works, even if a guy has to move on, the next guy that number 2 steps up, and somehow they find another really good pitcher to be in that 5
We supposedly
rotation.
have, I can't think of the guy's name, and I heard Andre not talking about him, and they won't even let Francona look at him pretty much because it's like, he'll get all like, ooh, who's this guy? Well, let's bring him up. He looks good. But they want to let him develop because they're smart in what they do. They don't rush these guys. But, yeah, we got some really good young talent coming up. So future's always bright with this team.